Hello and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory, where Tad and Will here, we cover all 32 pro football teams, bringing you in-depth analysis, big picture perspectives, going, in-depth about all 32 teams. Before the season started, Tad and I definitely did our research up on all 32 teams, so we take great pride in doing what we do and delivering it to you throughout the season. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. But let's get into it. The New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans. And yeah, this was a football game where Aaron Rodgers went out there and actually, had a pretty solid performance. This was a pretty neck and neck football game for the most part between Aaron Rodgers and Will Levis. Aaron Rodgers, 18 of 30, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, only sacked twice. So massive improvements from the Jets offensive line that we're finally starting to see. Aaron Rodgers getting protected his last 2 games. So a massive win for the Jets as they are now 1-1, and they kind of look like a relatively solid football team going forward. Though I will say I was very impressed with the running backs, Breece Hall and Braelon Allen, and including Breece Hall and Braelon Allen also catching a touchdown from both of the touchdowns that Aaron threw were to his running back. So it's very nice to see that they have very solid chemistry going there. And then also, Garrett Wilson also has a few flashy plays. The Jets defense doing what they do. Will McDonald specifically, shout out to him. 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. Solomon Thomas even, he had a sack, tackle for loss, and a pressure. So the Jets defense, the Jets offensive line, Aaron Rodgers. This is like, if I'm a Jets fan, if I was a Jets fan, a diehard Jets fan, and I'm watching this game, I'm thinking like, wow, finally everything that was meant to come together is coming together, and this is looking like the New York Jets football team that we've kind of been expecting to see for the last couple of seasons. Everybody's healthy, everybody's playing at a top level, and they went out there on the road and got a very solid win against this Tennessee Titans football team, which on that flip side, Tony Pollard, obviously a very solid addition for this Tennessee Titans team. Will Levis, I do like what I'm seeing out of Will Levis, though. For me, Will Levis is obviously taking a little bit more time to develop, in my opinion. Calvin Ridley specifically with that massive touchdown that he did get. To be honest with you, this was just like a game where the Jets were just a slightly more well-rounded team than the Titans. The Titans hung around in this game as best as they could, but at the end of the day, the Jets just proved that they were. This was just like 2 football teams going at it, and the Jets just kind of proved that they were the slightly better team.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed with the Jets, and I do want to specifically give credit to Braelon Allen, the rookie running back from Wisconsin, scoring his first 2 touchdowns of his NFL career, the 4th-round draft pick there. A very solid compliment to your lead rusher, Breece Hall. So they were both very efficient in the run game, explosive in the pass game. That route that Breece Hall ran on his touchdown catch, that was very impressive, very crisp. And it wasn't just like a dump off screen pass. He actually was out running a route and made a very solid catch on a very solid throw by Rodgers. So just making plays there, a very impressive day from the Jets. They make the plays that a veteran team is supposed to make to win a game. They trailing at halftime, they come back, they do what they have to do. They get the touchdowns in the second half, and they don't let the Titans score in the fourth quarter. Their defense lived up to the billing there, and yeah, it was a close game, but in the end, they made the plays you had to make at the end of the game. And looking more at the Titans, they're a team that still a lot of question marks there about the future. Will Levis, is he the guy? Hard to say there. He was solid enough, but he just didn't make the plays that you have to make to win a football game. I mean, 19 of 28, 192 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and a lost fumble. I mean, not a horrible performance, but nothing that'll move the needle there. So he did what he could, but that is what it is for the Titans on offense. And looking at their defense, I mean, you had some solid performances, 9 total tackles by Ernest Jones, and also the 2 tackles for loss there. So he did what he could. Harold Landry the third had 2 sacks for the Titans defense, and that's definitely notable for the veteran linebacker out of Boston College. So he did what he could to try to force the Jets offense to take a step back. Those were the only 2 sacks of the game. You mentioned the offensive line for the Jets. They were very solid and much different than the unit that we saw last year. They definitely deserve a lot of credit there, but it was the one guy there, Harold Landry, that found a way through the offensive line. But other than that, they were very solid.
Yeah, we're still at that early point in the season where I haven't found like the things to really harp on for each team yet. You know, probably more so like in the midseason where, you know, you kind of find that those kinds of things out. But, you know, you're liking what you're seeing from both of these teams here. The Titans, it's a bit of a rough start, but, you know, you just really got to, you know, you didn't expect a super flashy season from the Titans. They go out there and they play the Packers next week. So certainly the road doesn't get necessarily a whole lot easier for them. But yeah, what's your take on Will Levis so far? And like, where would you rank him amongst NFL starting quarterbacks?
I mean, unfortunately for the Titans, I wouldn't rank him all that high on that list. I'd rank him near the bottom of starting quarterbacks, and I think he's a guy that he's fighting for his NFL future right now. If he what's next for Will Levis? I mean, will he be a starting quarterback? Will he stick around as a backup quarterback? I think that the verdict is still out there, but at this point, I think the Titans, I mean, at the end of the season or potentially even sooner, they'll be thinking about their options about the draft. Do they want to draft a quarterback? Do they want to make a run at a free agent quarterback? But I mean, Will Levis, he's a guy that he would need to definitely up his game to audition for continued playing time in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt about that. So, you know, it's just, you know, going to be a matter of what he'll, you know, be able to prosper from, develop from. So, take that for what you will. But yeah, that's just kind of where we're at. So, Jets win this game 24-17. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow all season long on the Gridiron Glory podcast, where we cover all 32 teams.